Big E is definitely in the building. Dante is definitely in the building.
Yo.
Solo is definitely in the building. We off camera right now, y'all. And I'm Big Soup. And welcome to Superstars of Sports. But before we start the show, we need a few things from y'all.
Same things we always need, like, comment, share, subscribe. Keep blowing our numbers up, yo. We going up every week. We getting higher and higher. Google Play, Spotify, Spinwax Radio. Obviously, the best place to get our content is our YouTube channel, Superstars of Sports on YouTube. All of our episodes are back there. Run those numbers up. If you want to kind of catch on to some of the things that we've been saying, all the episodes are there. So please, y'all, like, comment, share, and subscribe. And like our man H usually says, that's just not here this week, it costs nothing to show love.
Yeah, nothing at all.
So we got a Giants fan in the building now that football season's here, but we're not really going to talk to him. We're going to skip over the Giants. I kind of wish H was here because two major things happened with his team, so we'll give him the love and the respect that he deserves, and we'll talk about his Tampa Bay team first. How do you feel about Julio signing with Tampa Bay, Ted?
Ring chaser, of course.
Of course. I agree with you.
I feel like they really didn't need him, but I mean, again, it is Julio Jones. It's a Antonio Brown treatment.
What do you get? 1 year, $8 million, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, your third corner is gonna be guarding. I mean, people could say he's washed, but I mean, this is probably gonna be his best quarterback he's ever had. Even though Brady is at 40-something years old.
Still better than Brady right now is better than Matt Ryan at any point in his career.
And y'all think he washed? I
Julio?
don't think he washed.
So I think he's washed.
I think washed is a strong word.
Okay, I don't know any other word to use, but I think washed in the sense where he's not at that peak Julio level that he was, because at this point in his career, the injuries more than the skill have taken stuff away from his game, right? The speed and this happens to big receivers all the time. You know, the amount of hits that they take on their legs, on their feet, and then you start seeing receivers. We've seen that with DJ, who's a small receiver. Once the groins start bothering you, once the hamstrings start bothering you, you get to a certain age, it's just hard to completely overcome it. Now, probably make us all look stupid because you signed him with Tom Brady, like you said, the best quarterback he ever had. They cleared Chris Godwin, right? So that means Chris Godwin is going to be healthy from game one. So you got Mike Evans on one side, you got Chris Evans in the slot. Who are you going to guard Julio with? So his numbers might reflect the old Julio, but I think he's washed where he doesn't have the speed and the burst to go with the size that he used to have. So washed a strong word? Maybe, but I'm going to still go with it.
So this another question I got too. So now when a player can't perform to their peak numbers, do we declare that they're washed or they just not as productive? I just think he's not as productive.
I say he's washed because I say he's washed. I say he's washed for the fact that he can't even stay healthy to play 16 games. You're lucky to get 8 or 9 games out of him now. To me, that's washed because it's not like he's playing 8 or 9 games, but he's still coming up with the 9 catches, 180 some yards, and 2 touchdowns like he used to. He's playing 9 games. I mean, I watched him on Tennessee last year. He had another quality receiver on the other side in A.J. Brown, and he didn't do much for that Tennessee offense. He didn't bring much to open it up and be able to take control of the team when Derrick Henry got hurt. Right? When Derrick Henry got hurt, you think you should be able to continue to succeed because you have A.J. Brown and you have Julio. But Julio doesn't command the type of coverage that he used to because he doesn't have the skill set anymore. So to me, that's washed. If you can't do what you used to do.
Would you take him on the Eagles?
Yeah, I mean at this point, yeah. I didn't say he's out the league washed.
I'm being facetious.
No, I'm just not. I say yes because I think at the wide receiver position, we're at the same standard that the Buccaneers are. Mm-hmm. Right? You really have a big number one. They have Mike Evans. We have A.J. Brown. And the number 2, they got Chris Godwin. We got Devontae Smith. So then you're adding. So you're telling me I think a washed Julio is better than a fresh Jalen Reagor.
Gotcha.
Right? I think a washed Julio is better than a fresh Quez Watkins.
That's where I'm going with this. Like, so is he washed?
Yeah, he is washed because when the name Julio, when I say,
you know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, we were still taking him over a lot. He's still walking on teams, and he did third option. So are you washed?
Yeah, he's washed.
You get what I'm saying?
He's washed because Julio should be the number 1.
No, I just feel like when you watch,
So you're done.
In horse races, you
get
glue.
put out to the
You
pasture?
glue. Yeah, you glue after that when you watch. You know what I'm saying?
You're looking for the offspring, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm
looking
saying.
for the
That's
offspring.
why I'm like, is he washed or he just not as productive?
I mean,
I just think it was a bad fit for Tennessee.
I think so too. That's what I think.
I think
It's
he's
bad,
about to. I mean, obviously he's not going to be at his prime days, but I mean, you see what Antonio Brown did, and people were saying that he can't play no more. Everything else was going on with him. I mean, you playing with Brady, like, and they're throwing the ball.
I mean, but doesn't it lead to the fact that Antonio Brown is a different type of wide receiver than Julio Jones? Julio Jones used to beat you with his size and speed. Antonio Brown used to beat you with his speed, but also with his route running ability. Now, Julio used to run great routes. So I'm not going to say he wasn't, but part of it was the size-speed combo that teams just couldn't match up with. Antonio Brown never could size you out of catch, but what he did was he killed you with his feet. And that is always what Brady has played off of. If you go back to Wes Welker, Danny Amendola, those are always his favorite receivers, the shorter, faster guys that can kind of come in and out. And then you just have big guys like Gronk where he can throw it anywhere. But most of the receivers, if you go to Troy Brown, if you go, what's the dude's name that won the MVP in the Super Bowl against us in 2004? Deion Branch. Like Deion Branch, Troy Brown, Amendola, Wes Welker, like these are all his kind of guys. So Antonio Brown fit that mold. So to me, it wasn't hard to see why he connected easily with Antonio Brown. Again, Julio probably was a bad fit in Tennessee. He probably will have a bounce back season, but I don't think we're going to get 100 catch Julio for 1,400 yards and 12 touchdowns. Like
I'm not looking for that though.
Oh no, but he's definitely going to probably have 70.
Another thing that happened today in Tampa Bay, I wish we had H here. It looks like their center might be out for the year.
Oh yeah.
Carted off on the first day of practice. Yeah.
What kind of injury?
The knee injury.
Oh yeah, he done.
So he was like their Jason Kelsey right now. Shout out to Jason Kelsey because Mr. Hansen, however you pronounce it, Tampa Bay is not Kelsey, but he was a good guy. So, Jensen? Yeah, same thing. It doesn't really matter to me. I just wish H was here so we could talk about it.
Him up.
Be on the lookout next week when H comes back because H hit the group chat in the pre-show meeting and said he didn't like the signing of Julio Jones for his team. So I'm really interested
To see why not. Me too, because especially like when I'm looking at the third option, it's like
because he was mad when Antonio got kicked off the team last year and he said they didn't have enough receiving options.
so it's like where you going with that?
And they got Russell Gage this year too, right?
Or he just got a hard on for Antonio.
So we're gonna move on.
That's another question.
I'm glad you was off camera and you ain't see the look on his face when he just said that. So I'm already editing for the YouTube viewers. We're gonna keep that out of here. Moving on to the Eagles. Let's go with you first, Soup. Let's talk about your cousin, right? They was loving your cousin after day one. He was like what, 14 for 16. They threw like 4 tutties, only 1 interception.
I'm not. Listen, I'm a Jalen fan, but I'm telling you, if Jalen's sticking it up, they went to pull him.
Get him about that?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is this year. Like I done fought for him all last year. If I see any open receivers that he don't hit or attempt to hit, send him. That's really where I'm at. I don't like his haircut right now. He's just holding everything on me right now. You know what I'm saying?
You don't like what he got that you don't like?
Whatever the temple fade guy he got, I don't like.
But you know he's from the South. You know that's what they do down there.
It's just some soft.
And he got his best friend on the team.
That look like he cutting his own hair.
He look like cutting. Oh shit.
Yeah, that like he doing his own situation.
You know big AJ cutting his hair for? Because you know it's hurt season. He came into practice. So let me ask you what you think about that. Right? You've been on. Obviously, you haven't been in the NFL. Been in Little League. Been in high school. You played in the top tier high school league in the state of North Carolina. How would you feel if your coach came to practice with your T-shirt on, or your starting quarterback T-shirt on? You think that's a little too phony, or you think it's okay for NFL players?
Nah, that's your quarterback. I think that's a difference. That's your quarterback. You know, I feel like head coaches and quarterbacks are one of the most. How can I say it? Other than the offensive coordinator, should be one of the best connections because he's going to be calling the plays. And sometimes it can be either the quarterback or is it the coach. And I feel like he's hearing all the hate around Jalen Hurts, and it's just showing him the way like, yo, like this is my quarterback.
You don't think that's a little corny though? Like in the NFL, like coming out there with the shirt looks like he's Macho Man.
Yeah. I like the energy going to training camp. I would wear your shirt.
You would wear whose shirt?
Yours.
I'm glad again
on the podcast
that the camera's not on. But I mean, we're talking about the NFL.
No, I'm just saying like I'm a fan of my homies. Like that's the type of person I am. Like if I'm coaching him and he, you know what I'm saying, I'm wearing a Dante. I might wear T-shirt right. Yeah, I'm with that.
Yeah, Jason Kelsey.
I like that.
I mean, he wore Bernie Graham. He wore all them. He also wore beat Dallas when they went up and spanked us by 40. That was cool.
Yeah, but I'm just with, you know what I'm saying? It's the energy of it. I like it. Like you my boy. You know what I'm saying?
They got their own.
Like I was cool.
How you feel about it?
Well, I was cool with AJ coming out with the Hurt season hat on. That's his best friend, quarterback, all that other shit. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. It's a little too high schoolish for me when you're talking about the pros. Like there's other ways that you can show love to your quarterback and all that stuff. You really walk around with a shirt that looks like it's Macho Man Randy Savage with Jalen Hurts on the front with the glasses on.
What would you think would be a good morale boost or?
I mean, Nick Sirianni to me has great energy already. Like the way he carries himself, the way he talks to the team. I also like, he's very protective of the team in the news conferences. He stuck up for Jalen all season. And at the time during practices like last year, he cussed you out when he needed to cuss you out. So I think the energy is fine. This kind of shit, I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? So where you going with this? Like you think that
I just think he needs to cut it out some.
You think it's too much?
I just think he needs to cut it out some. Like I'm cool with the, we were the rolls that grew from the concrete and all that other shit during the press conferences.
That was wild.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that was real wild.
Sometimes he takes it one step too far.
That was wild.
That where it's almost like where you become so connected that you're not believable.
Do you think it's sincere?
I do think it's sincere.
See, I think that's what I'm saying.
I think it's sincere.
I even think the rolls on the concrete was sincere, but I think it was inappropriate. That's all. You know what I'm saying? I think it was inappropriate. I think it's sincere. I don't think he don't come off like a phony to me. That's
I don't think it's phony, but you're dealing with grown men in the NFL. You don't let the players do that amongst each other.
Yeah, I don't think he's doing it for likes.
No, he's not doing it.
We talk about people doing stuff for likes.
I think he feels like that's the way he could bomb. And like you said, I think you're right. You cannot live in this city, or you cannot be the coach in this city and not hear the noise through the offseason about getting rid of Jalen. But it could be kind of phony because guess what? We all know they were also trying to get rid of Jalen if we could have got Deshaun Watson that you wanted or Russell Wilson that I wanted. Like they was ready to get Jalen the fuck about there real quick.
That's the GM though.
Yeah, that's the GM coach.
You're trying to sit here and tell me that the GM was going to get a brand new quarterback and not bring the coach in on the decision?
It would be known, but that's not really the coach's decision.
I think your boy would.
It is what it is, though.
I think your boy would have went over Sirianni head though.
Power.
Yeah, I think so.
Right, but you can't. But you just told me. Hold on. Okay, I'm glad we got it. You just told me that the best connection on the offense is between the head coach and the quarterback. So are you telling me that Nick Sirianni was going to say, I don't care what your connection is, I'm going to get Russell Wilson whether you want him or not? No. Sirianni would have been in on that. Because if I'm a head coach, I see what happened to Jalen, I might love him. But if you're telling me, hey, next Monday we can get Russell Wilson in here, hey, Jalen, I love you to death. Keep working, keep grinding. We'll see you in a couple of years because we're about to get Russell Wilson. So now you throw the shirt on, but what was you doing in February during free agency and April during the draft? Were y'all checking in? Hey, Cleveland, you still went on that for Deshaun? Oh, okay, all right. Well, that's Jalen is our guy.
I mean, he was doing it last year. It's not new to me.
I don't know. I just feel like maybe if they was treating what's that boy? That's down in Washington now.
Wentz.
If they was treating Wentz like that, he might have been happier. I just feel like
the best thing to keep Wentz happy would have not drafted Hurts at all.
No, I'm just saying.
But Doug Peterson wasn't that type of guy either.
If Doug was wearing Wentz shirts, that thing might have worked out a little better.
Why? Because he was an asshole. You were only perpetuating the horrible behavior in the locker room.
Yeah, but he needed to be stroked. Sometimes you got to stroke.
Yeah, and know how you stroke him. You gave him your money and not draft Jalen Hurts in the second round. That's how you stroke him. Don't bring in no competition. Not wear a Wentz wagon T-shirt.
Yeah, but I just feel like
I got the black 11 shirt. I was on the Wentz wagon, but he was a jerk.
Yeah, I just feel like some people just need to be stroked. And I think.
But does Jalen come across as a person Jalen seems supremely confident in himself and his work ethic.
Yeah,
remember, he's Mr. Intangible, right? He's super intangible.
Yeah, me personally, I don't think Jalen needs it, but I don't know what the coach sees or thinks. I don't know where his head is at. It's just, and then like you say, if he might be doing it for making up the off-season stuff.
I'm not mad at him. I just think every now and then it's a little too much.
You know what I mean?
Like me growing up in the Buddy Ryan era, I loved the Beat Dallas shirt. I wish he would have wore the F Dallas shirt, right? The one that we all have. But at the same time, we're dealing with pros, and as we talked about when your brother blesses with his presence on the podcast, sometimes they need that kind of, the other team needs that kind of motivation because it is a long season. There's a grind on their body. They are getting beat up every week. So then you see in the press conference, oh, their head coach is wearing their quarterback's t-shirt. Let's go knock their quarterback out. You know, that kind of stuff. So it's just, there's a fine line in that stuff. I think he has the right energy. I think they like him. I think they lead him. I think they follow him as a good leader. Sometimes I think he goes a little bit too much.
But I think too is it might be to make up for a little bit of this disloyalty that we're on. You know what I'm saying? Like.
So is he fake then?
I'm not gonna say fake because you might be sorry.
Okay. Sorry because we didn't get.
You understand what I'm saying?
I'm sorry we didn't get Aaron Rodgers in here.
It's like.
You are a guy now.
It's like when dudes get caught doing something they ain't got no business and they come home with jewelry. Like,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I look at it on that type of
And don't forget though,
I'm not going to say the jury's insincere.
Even though wearing your shirt, don't forget we got 2 first-round picks in the next draft. If you guard us this year, we're going to get you out here anyway. And here goes your t-shirt back.
No, I'm going to keep it.
You keep it.
I'm going to keep it. I'm not going to wear it, but I'm going to keep it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So make sure y'all stay tuned for next week's episode as well, giving y'all a little preview. We have sideline passes for the Eagles practice tomorrow at the Novacare Complex. VIP passes will be on the sideline. Yeah.
So what's up? You going to take? What's up, man?
You think you was gonna keep that from him?
You been acting weird. You just you don't want Sirianni wearing shirts. I don't know what you going to take.
I'm
you know
just,
what I'm saying?
First of all, I whip out my Mooresville 86 Krause t-shirt anytime you want to. But I was the dad wearing the shirts. I wasn't the head coach of the team. When I coached the team in youth, I didn't have nothing with his number on it because I wasn't trying to disrespect the rest of the kids on the team. But once he turned to high school, goddamn right, I had the 86 t-shirt with
you the coach and your son on the team. Yeah, that's different. You know what I mean?
I mean, how would you feel, right? How would you feel if you're Jalen Rager and you're struggling to make the team, right? Or you Gardner Minshew and you trying to take Jalen's job and your coach come out with the other quarterback's face on his shirt?
I'm not taking his job.
How you know?
Yeah, he might take his job though.
I'm not saying he might take his job, but if one thing
that would give me more motivation.
Right, but I'm saying as a football, one thing that you love is being down there, right? And sometimes you go to certain teams. When you go to certain teams, you want to know from the coach, I have a fair shot to win this job.
You come on like you don't have a fair shot.
Right, you come on like you don't have a fair shot.
You don't have a fair
I came in, I played against the Jets, we won, I passed better than you.
Mm-hmm.
And now first day in camp, you got the other dude's face on your chest. That's what I'm saying as a leader. Like, now you get somebody like wearing, like you said, he wore the Kelsey t-shirt, or you get someone Brandon Graham, they are locked and secured in their position. They won a Super Bowl here. You know, they can run for office and win, really. You want to come out with the Brandon Graham t-shirt or the Jason Kelsey, but when you have all this stuff around Hurts and you have a guy that might be trying to fight for the backup and all this stuff, first day of camp, like you said, maybe he did it for he was sorry.
Yeah, I definitely.
But we'll see what kind of shirt he has on tomorrow.
That's his earrings or his or his diamond ring. That's what I think.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
Did you see what's nice?
Yeah. Same thing.
Okay. I just think it's just the same love. I mean, if he's doing it to Kelsey, why not doing that to everybody?
Because who's trying to take Kelsey's job?
Yeah, just leave that.
Who's trying to take Kelsey's job?
All right, fellas.
I mean, it's just the same energy. I don't know.
I think you can show that same energy without having to
compromise.
I just think it's too high schooly. I don't really find nothing wrong with it. I just think it's a little too high schooly. If that makes sense.
Gotcha. I got you.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's just that's something that you do to get your high school team, or because he said he got it from his brother who used to coach Division III, and he would come and do that stuff. That shit work in Division III college. Or like if I'm the defensive coordinator at a high school and I walk in with like the defensive tackle's jersey on or something, that works to get the team amped up. This is the pros.
Yeah, he's sorry for the trade talks.
He's sorry for the all season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The trade talks. You know what I'm saying?
And there's still to come. Because like you said, all this preseason stuff doesn't matter. You start missing these open receivers, then all that's going to go out the window.
All that's going to go out the window. It's going to go out the window with me. And I'm a fan of him, so I already know how everybody
You already came as your cousin, so.
Yeah. I'm coming at everything this year.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm on my Machiavelli.
Have you changed any of your picks from last week? Anything made you change anything?
Tampa Bay got changed.
Tampa Bay got
until I see who that center is going to do.
Right. So the addition. So when they got Julio, I was thinking about changing because remember I picked the Saints to win that division.
Mm-hmm.
With the addition of Julio, I was going to bump them up to the division winner. Mm-hmm. But then the center got hurt.
That's what I'm saying.
And it's like, who?
Yeah,
let me take a step back.
He's the most mobilest guy.
Yeah, but any offensive line that Tom Brady gets, he makes them good. So
you agree? I don't agree with that.
I don't agree with that. Because for the simple fact, not even trying to call you out, Tay, but you didn't. I don't think you really know the history of the New England Patriots offensive line coach, Dante Scarnecchia. He's probably he's either going to be one or number two of actually going into the Hall of Fame as a position coach. Like not a coordinator, not a head coach. He's going to go into the Hall of Fame as an offensive line coach. Mm-hmm. That's how good of an offensive line coach Dante Scarnecchia was. As much as we love our offensive line coach, which I don't know why I can't think of his name right now. Yeah. As much as we love him, the dude in New England, way better than him.
Is he still there?
Who? Yeah, he might have just retired. He coached the Patriots from like the late 80s, early 90s, all the way up until like 2006. And then that little run where the Patriots weren't really making the playoffs or whatever, the dude had retired. They talked him out of retirement like around 2011. Came out of retirement in 2011. I think he just retired like last year.
Well, I mean, even Tampa Bay's line was good the last 2
years. They were good. They have an okay offensive line coach. They invested in linemen when Brady came. They took was it Werlof, whoever their left tackle was. They took him in the draft the first year that they got him. Right, so they went out and signed a guard. So they definitely invested. So it might not be that big of a hit, but I don't know if I fully agree with it. Anyone you get for Brady is just.
I don't agree with that.
Yeah, because Brady's big time losses is the losses he get his ass whooped. Mm-hmm. When they kept on losing to Denver in the playoffs when Peyton was there, when Von Miller and all them was there, they were killing.
Yeah, they were all over.
So
that's the key to beating them.
If anything. Kind of goes to any team, not to wish injuries on anybody, but at least the injury happened early enough in training camp that they have a month, with 6 weeks until the season starts. So they have somebody, his backup to kind of get up to speed. But I don't know what you said, or sign for somebody, trade for somebody, something like that. So maybe I think that's the adjustment I'm going to make. I'm going to move Tampa Bay up into winning the NFC South, make New Orleans the wild card team and drop the Falcons out and just make the Saints my dark horse team.
Oh yeah.
Injuries and signings like that happen. You know what I'm saying?
That's not a bad prediction though.
It makes it go that way.
So then did everything get solidified with Harden?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
he did.
I don't know. Daryl Morey runs the Sixers page, but they've been posting a little bit too much.
The black and white still photos.
Yeah, and the quotes.
They don't have nothing else. It's dead time.
There's nothing going on.
There's nothing going on. So for our listeners, watchers, followers, so on, if you didn't hear, the Sixers finally made the signing of James Harden official on Tuesday. It is a 2-year contract. It's 1 year guaranteed. The second year is a player's option. It's for $68.6 million, I believe that's the number. Mm-hmm. 38 this year, 30 the following year, something like that. 34 the following year. I know I'm not doing the math right in my head, but it's an opt-out year.
On paper, they look a lot better.
Yeah, but I'm still.
What you skeptical about?
I just feel like we're not finished. Like something else has to be done.
Yeah, I'm still sticking on Tobias Harris is getting traded. I might be.
You think so?
Well, to me, again, it depends how you want to build your team or play the team. So I don't know what Doc has in store, but to me, PJ Tucker is at his best at this year at the power forward position. I know he's listed as a small forward. I do know that. But he played a lot of power forward the last 2 years. So to me, that's his spot, but that is also Tobias' spot. That is also George Niang's spot when Niang comes off the bench. So you're either going to put Tucker at the 3, which moves Matisse to the bench. But to me, you're trying to get rid of Harris's contract.
Well, he played at 3 of them.
You think somebody gonna get rid of him? You think somebody gonna want him?
At this point, I'm thinking no because it hasn't happened.
I'm thinking no too.
There's been a lot of there's still bigger shoes that have to drop. Right? Is the KD situation going to get taken care of? Is Kyrie going to get traded? Is Russell Westbrook going to get traded? Now, I'm not saying Tobias is going to get traded for any of those teams. But what we do is you kind of backdoor and you slide in as a 3rd team in a 3-team deal. Or because if any of these guys are getting traded, they're going to need a bad team to get involved that have a lot of draft picks. So you get a team like Oklahoma City, team like Detroit, team like New York Knicks, team like Orlando that have a lot of picks that just want some quality players to go around their young team. So you slide Tobias to Orlando, or you slide them to Oklahoma City, or you slide them to Detroit. Maybe you get involved in the Donovan Mitchell trade since he wants to be traded, and somehow Tobias winds up in Utah. That's my thought process of something that has to happen.
Do you think Tobias hit a ceiling? You think it's over?
Oh yeah, no. What he was, I think he can be what he was last year, this year.
Okay.
Because of how he's going to have to play. He's at the 4. He's not asked to play inside, so he's not going to take a lot of roughness on his body. He still seems to be in shape. He was never the most athletic, so it's not like he's going to quote unquote lose a step like how AI did when he got older, or when we hope that Maxey doesn't do because the speed of assessors apart. He's just a good player. Problem is, we pay him like a superstar.
Yeah, like he's a great player.
We pay him like he's one of the best players in the league with his contract. So if you add that, though, the best thing that I think that happened for the Sixers in this contract that is kind of flying under the radar is this opt-out with Harden. Let's just say Harden does opt in next year, though, and they try, we get through this year and he says, I'm going to play next year. Harden's contract and Tobias' contract will be up the same exact time. So even if you can't trade Tobias, and let's say Harden continues his slide down from greatness, you can get both of those big contracts off of the books in 2 years. This year, 1 more year. Which means you'll be probably near the end of Embiid's prime, but at least you'll have money to get the next crop of superstars to where Embiid doesn't have to be the man again in 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
That's my thought process.
Mine
and
too.
I think you also, the way he signed the deal this year, we still have a couple million to play. So we can either sign another role player this year in the offseason that's starting to sign, or more importantly, make a trade at the trade deadline to take on a player that we might need throughout the season because we have some cap space still to use.
Who y'all want?
Like that's free right now? I mean, the Mars twins when they come home. One of the Mars twins when they come here, but to me, he's another power forward, so I don't know if we need that. I think we need another guard or wing, to be honest with you.
What you think, Dad?
We need to start with 3.
But I thought you said Tucker's going to be there.
Well, we trade Tobias.
Yeah, I mean, if we trade Tobias, I'm expecting to get a 3 back.
Because with our lineup, we're just going to basically run 4 out and beat in the middle, pick and roll with it, and run hard.
Right, it's going to be Max. Right now, it's going to be Maxey and Harden. It's going to be PJ Tucker in 1 quarter. Tobias kind of your kind of slash like mid-range guy, and of course Embiid can either stretch out the 3 or stay in the post.
Yeah.
And then you bring House and Melton off the bench.
I think they was real good additions.
I mean, I like the additions. I like our bench. I still want a big.
Crazy is, I think we need another guard still. Like I know we have Harden, Maxey, and Melton. I want another guard. Maybe a 2-3, someone a slasher, or like someone that can create. Like give me somebody. Like I'll take Pat Bev, like a Pat Bev, because I don't want to see Shake on the team no more. I don't want to see Furkan on the team no more. Huh?
I don't think Shake needs something. Because we have Melton, right? Is that
Yeah, DeAndre Melton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we got House. We still have Dyer.
Well, House is a 3-4.
No.
Yeah. Daniel House is a 3-4. He's a 3-4. He plays 4 in a small lineup. That's what they did with him in Utah. Look at his page. It says small forward, power forward. That's what I'm saying. We have a bunch of power forwards on the team right now. Now, House has usually played more of a 3.
With Dyer, we'll play the 2. I mean, we're in the NBA. I mean, every position is broken. So you can come out with the House, Dyer, Melton.
Yeah, I'm just saying I would like another
George
playmaker
Hill.
on the team coming off the bench.
We need a backup big and a wing that can
You
shoot.
don't like Reed?
I don't like Reed. I don't like Bash. I don't mind Reed. I like his hustle. But I still think we need a veteran big that can back up Embiid.
All right.
I
like Reed, though.
I wanted JaVale McGee. I wanted Andre Drummond back.
They got way too much money though, because you had to solidify the wing spot first. That's why Tucker, House, and Melton were more important than the backup big. Now, if you get the Marquise brother, maybe you can use him as a small five. When Embiid goes to the bench, you can run an all 5 out offense. As he's the big in the middle. I don't like any of the bigs that's out there. I don't like DeMarcus Cousins. I don't like LaMarcus Aldridge. Like I don't like any of those washed up. What you say?
I want Cousins.
I don't. I'm like
Whiteside's out there.
He doesn't bring nothing either. I watched him go in Portland. He was on the bench when it mattered. And I'm saying that was.
Of course, he's not going to start.
He doesn't have to start. He did nothing. He did nothing in Portland. He did nothing at Utah. At some point in time, you're just done. Like you just ain't got no skills left. You're just big. That's all you are.
No, I think he's washed.
Who? Whiteside. Yeah, right. Like at some point in time, you're just big.
Yeah,
like you're not a big player.
Yeah.
You're just big. You're just tall. Like you're just out there, and people are hoping you became what you used to do. So you get a game here and there where he looks like he was a younger self, and then you won't see him. He's almost like Millsap. Mm-hmm. Every now and then, Millsap gave you a little flash. He dropped a quick 8 points. You're like, oh, this is why we picked him up. And then he gets dunked on and commits 4 fouls.
I never saw the flashes.
Every now and then he had some offensive rebound putbacks, set a good screen.
Millsap used to be the man. That's not like that. That's crazy.
Right. I mean, the 18-footer for Millsap used to be wet.
Yeah, like it's over.
Yeah. So to me, that's
now he needs a bottle of lube.
Yeah.
He's over, guys.
Like Blake, Whiteside, DeMarcus Aldridge, DeMarcus Cousins, none of them excite me. I'd rather stick with Paul Reed.
Yeah.
Until a regular big.
At least he run the floor. You know what I'm saying?
Run the floor, athleticism, can switch defense. He just has to calm down. He just has to learn what the do's and the don'ts are of what the refs are going to call against him. Mm-hmm. Right? Because he's not a legitimate star. So he has to be careful out there because the refs are going to call everything against him.
That's true.
No, I don't think they're done yet. Whether it be, I want them to make another move before the season starts, but I think they're going to wait in season. I think they recognize they might need a regular big or another wing. I think, you know how you said on the Sixers page they posted a lot of stuff of Harden, but Daryl Morey was posting on Instagram, and he had like when you put up on your IG stories, you can ask him questions. Mm-hmm. Right? When somebody asks him like in the offseason who has made the biggest jump or some shit like that, it's one of those type of questions, and he said clearly Matisse style. That's what his words. Maybe he's just trying to boost up his trade value. That's what I'm hoping. Because I don't think the dude's ever going to learn how to shoot. Because the problem to me is not Matisse Thybulle's shooting form or anything like that. I just doesn't think he has the touch of a basketball player to be a consistent outside shooter. Because if you watch him, he's always square to the rim. He always has a high release. He always leaves his arm up there with the foul. Like everything mechanically is always correct. And he's not robotic mechanically. He's just, when you teach yourself how to shoot, or when someone teaches you how to shoot, he has that form. He just doesn't have the touch to make it go in. And then he doesn't have the confidence in himself as a shooter that if he misses bad, to go ahead and take it again. Once he misses, it's over. He don't even want to shoot no more. Yeah. We see that when he dribbles. When he grabs a defensive rebound, he don't even want to start to bring the ball up the floor. He's looking for an outlet pass to get the ball, and he'll just go run to the corner or run to the side and maybe set a pick, and that's it. It's like he's not. He almost reminds me of your brother when he was younger, when we used to play basketball, and he's out there just to play defensive rebound. Like he knew he couldn't shoot, he knew he couldn't score. He's out there
that was me. That was my game.
Like he was out there just to have fun to play a game.
Yeah, I'm gonna get all the boards.
Like to me, Matisse is a professional basketball player because he's just that athletic. It's like not saying he doesn't love the sport, but it's like he just knows he's great at it, so that's what he does. Because even if you follow him in personal life, he seems to care more about being in the woods and taking pictures and video editing. Like he loves, that's almost like his passion.
Like
he does basketball because he's athletic and he's good at it, but he's really an artsy dude that would rather be doing that. And to me, that's that you just, as much as I love him, I love the kid. He tries hard, he wants to do great. I don't think a shooter is what he is as a basketball player. And I don't think he'll ever get it because he doesn't have the athletic touch. He's just an athletic person that with long arms and understands defensive style of basketball. So hopefully Daryl Morey was putting it up there to get other teams to bite on him so we can move him. Because he is a movable piece. You can get a different type of wing person for him for a team that has enough scoring and just needs him for defense.
Defense, I'm about to say that.
So, well, I still think there's moves to be made. Talk about moves to be made, Phillies pissed me off last night.
What's wrong?
So Tuesday is the trade deadline in baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Now, to me, I'm a huge baseball fan, following him all year. So with H, again, I wish H was here. The two biggest things they need is a starting pitcher and a center fielder. Right? They have they are horrible at center field, not great defensively there. Don't get any offensive production out of that position. Well, the Royals, who, if people that watch it don't know, are usually a bad team that sells off all their best players because they're a small market and they can't afford to pay them, and there's no salary cap in baseball. So they have a center fielder, named Andrew Benintendi, some shit like that. You know, I'm bad with names tonight. But he bats .310 and plays Gold Glove center field. And guess who gets him? You're right, the Yankees. And they gave up 3 prospects to get him. Now, technically, this guy's on last year's contract, whatever it may be. You think the Yankees have to give up a lot to get an all-star center fielder. Mm-hmm. They gave up 3 prospects, and none of these prospects were in the top 15 of their farm system. They gave up like the 16th guy, the 18th guy, and the 21st ranked minor league player.
So what the hell is wrong with the Phillies?
That's what I don't know. So I'm hoping that he has something bigger working in the works, because this dude would have solved 2 of your problems. You could have put him at the top of the lineup so he can get on base. You could have moved Schwarber down a little bit so when he hits for his power, he's actually hitting 2 and 3 run home runs and not solo ones. And you get a great defensive center fielder that can help Castellanos and Schwarber in the outfield. And you could have got him for next to nothing. But the report came out that the Phillies weren't even in the talks. So I don't know what.
They gotta be looking at something else.
I don't know what Dombrowski is, but they pissed me off greatly.
I wonder what's out there.
I mean, obviously the big guys are out there. Tani from the Angels and Soto.
But what you gonna have to sacrifice to get?
Oh, I mean, I don't think we have enough to get that.
Ross?
Yeah, the whole minor league system.
So they're not even in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so I don't know. But the general manager, Sam Fold, on a press conference, I think on Tuesday, acting like he was doing a pregame interview with the guy on the radio, and he said, hey, he usually did it once a week. So when he came back next week, the guy was signing on the radio was like, hope we have something to talk about next week, because when they come back, the trade deadline will be over. And he was like, don't worry, we're going to have something big to talk about. Well, what the hell do we have? Because the best person that we could have got went yesterday to the Yankees. So what is left to do? So they got till Tuesday to make this right. Hopefully the guy just wasn't speaking out the side of his mouth, trying to appease the fans, and they actually are working on something, because they are there. Like, the teams around the Phillies are faltering just as well. The Cardinals are playing bad. The Giants are playing bad. The Padres are right there for us to move up to the number 2 wild card spot. And the Braves aren't that far either. We're 4 or 5 games behind the Braves. They can be caught in a wild card spot. So you shore up the 5th starter and the outfield, and they're right there. So They pissed me off when I saw that news last night, early this morning. So hopefully they're working on something.
Yeah. Go ahead. Shoot.
No. I'm just still thinking about it as the what else they think they're gonna grab to improve the team.
I like the Cardinals pitcher. I've seen a lot of rumors of. I don't know if he's a starter or is he a closer, but I definitely feel like we need a closer or a pitcher, because I don't like Aaron Nola. I think he's trash. I'm not a big fan of Gibson, even though he did pitch good last game. There's been rumors about the dude from the A's. I don't know what position he plays, but they suck too, and I think they trying to
fire sale. They're always on the fire sale.
So is Boston. I've been hearing.
If you're talking about Xander Bogaerts, that's a false rumor.
No, I'm hearing a lot of people from Boston. Like, they might just blow it up.
Okay.
I mean, they stink too, kind of.
Yeah, supposedly there's 2 guys on their team that could be leaving at the end of the year, and supposedly they have about 4 or 5 guys in the minors that are kind of ready to come up and be the new core. So there is rumors that they might be blowing some things up. But to me, Like you might not like Nola, but Nola's our number 2. We're not trading for an ace. There's no ace out there. If we trading for a pitcher, it's going to be somebody at the back end. It's going to be Wheeler. It's going to be Nola. It's going to be Gibson. It's going to be Ranger Suarez. I don't think Zach Eflin's coming back this year, so we need a 5th starter. And then we need a center fielder. And really what we really need to do is just have the people that we paid all this money to actually perform.
Yeah.
Like, we need Castellanos to start hitting. We need Schwarber to do more than just hit a home run here and there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Real Muto has been starting to warm up. Al Bone actually has the best hitting batting average in baseball over the last month. He's batting like 4 something. But he's a singles and doubles guy. He's not a big hitter. Like, Castellanos has to hit. Schwarber has to do more to hit an occasional homer. Rhys Hoskins has to get hot again. And we have Gene Segura coming back next week, so hopefully he takes over at second base and gets back to his number 2 batting hole. We move Bryson Stott over to shortstop and get Didi out of the lineup with his non-hitting self. And then that's what we're supposed to do. I mean, that's what needs to be done. That's what would be best for the team is Bryson Gene Segura coming back and going to get a pitcher. Because we're paying Castellanos $25 million. We're paying Schwarber $20 million. These dudes got to perform for the money that we can't keep looking for big bats when we have big bats on the team that just ain't performing. That's the biggest issue right now. There should be no way that we're struggling to score runs. I know Bryce Harper's the MVP. No doubt about that. But these dudes are legit power hitters that should be doing more. Like, Schwarber is batting 200. So it's like he goes over 4 3 games in a row. The next game he has 2 homers and everyone, is happy.
Hype all over again.
Yeah. And Castellanos, not doing that, nothing. He has the lowest on-base percentage since like the month of May. We don't need to go trade for anybody. The dudes that we paid, we need to perform.
I agree with that.
That's
why I'm saying like what else needs to be done.
Yeah, I think the closer position is actually secure. They just got to trust Sir Anthony Dominguez. They just put him in that role. He's looked good. I think he has what we need to take it. If they went and got a closer, obviously I wouldn't be mad because you can never have enough bullpen depth. But I don't think closer is the need. Starting pitcher is the need. A center fielder is the need. And just these guys getting their head out their ass and becoming the players that we gave all this money to. I mean, Real Muto's making $20 million. Schwarber making 20. Castellanos making 25. Harper's making 25. Didi's making 14. Like, we paid. Like, the owner, you can't be mad at the ownership saying it's cheap. They paid money for top level talent. They're just not performing.
It ain't paying at all.
They even fired the manager, and they've been playing a lot better underneath him. But at some point in time, you can't just hope that it's just Bryce Harper. These other dudes got to perform.
Yeah, especially when y'all getting paid that kind of bread.
Right. Then you have Castellanos, getting smart with the reporter last week.
They're saying that he cursed.
Who?
Castellanos.
No,
he's cursed.
Oh, I read something that when he left Detroit to go to Cincinnati, the first year in Cincinnati he didn't have a good year, or vice versa. When he left either Detroit or Cincinnati and went to the other one, and that first year there he didn't do well either. But as he got more comfortable in his environment, his surroundings, then he started turning into Castellanos that earned all that money.
Well, yeah, that's true. But I heard because
he bought Ben Simmons'
house.
Yeah, so Castellanos bought Ben Simmons' house, and now they're saying he's cursed for buying the house, that he should sell the house. Light skin curse. I wish H was here to hear that.
That's hilarious, bro. That's hilarious. Now, I wish H was here too because when I want to open up. So remember, like a couple weeks ago, when we were talking about, right before my skydiving.
Yeah.
And I don't know how we got on.
Hey, if you're looking for the video of Soup skydiving, that's also on our YouTube page. Quick 4 minutes, give that a look. You'll love it. It's hilarious. Yeah. It's just Soup being Soup.
Yeah, it's hilarious, yo. So when we dove down I'm gonna call it a rabbit hole. When H was asking me all the questions about my past.
Yeah.
Then my wife was like upset. I ain't gonna say upset, but she definitely didn't care for that portion of the episode.
Okay.
So I wanted to
the
ask
whole
you,
moving on part. Like not having another dude in the house.
She ain't like the idea of diving into my past and H was asking different questions about ex females and ex indiscretions and all that.
Okay.
I wanted to ask you that transparency cause problems in your career with the pod.
No, I think we've had enough discretions that she already knows about. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We split up. We went on about our own. Kind of did what we did, and it went on from there. So I don't get questioned on the past. The past is the past. We both had relationships since the split up. You know what I'm saying? So that stuff never really came up in my.
And I don't feel like men. I just think she didn't care to hear about it on the pod.
Yeah, because
that's
you're putting her business out on the street, and she's not part of this.
And then
are you mad at H for that, or?
I didn't care because I don't mind being in the hot seat. Like,
okay.
And I told her that I said it really doesn't matter to me because I felt like if anybody that I felt like could be upset, I could see Fee being upset because I felt like that was stuff was during your tenure.
Yeah, for sure.
Stuff that happened before you, I didn't think that it would even bother you because it was like prior to me.
Yeah, you're a man. Like you lived your life. There was like there's kids before her. She had kids before you. All that stuff, but. I told you it's who you are.
Yeah, because I wasn't upset about it. And you know me, guys, if something makes me uncomfortable, I will say it, but it's not too much that makes me uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I definitely would have, diverted the conversation. Like he was, diverting the conversation. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And two, maybe a little different from you. Like, we were 20 years in. Mm-hmm. Right? Like, y'all are still, 7, 8 years?
Yeah.
Right? So, it's still kind of newer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you kind of had a reputation of being a superstar, which you are. So a lot of people had access to you. So it's still kind of new to her.
Gotcha.
Right? She knows who you are, and she knows that you still got your groupies, that even though you don't act that way anymore, it only takes one time for you to...
For somebody to mess up.
For to mess up, right? So it's still fresh in hers because y'all relationship is still new. Ours was 20 years. Like, we had...
Because it kind of had me like, well... Do I have to start censoring myself on the pod? Because I don't want to be moving that way. You know what I'm saying? And then I was like, I noticed you talk freely. I don't feel like Ace talks freely. That's just me speaking frankly.
Oh no, Ace doesn't know about anything.
Yeah, I don't feel like he's too transparent.
Right.
For certain things. And that's his prerogative. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, this is on the core level a sports podcast.
Yeah.
But we try to touch on different topics. Yeah, I mean, I just think the dynamic of your relationship is different from mine. Mine was 20 years and the indiscretions was inside the relationship. So we ended the relationship because of the indiscretions. So there's nothing else really to be questioned about.
Yeah, because it made me like sit back and like, well, let me ask E, is he facing any, you know what I'm saying, any threat when he get home? Because I kind of feel like H probably will because he don't never be transparent.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know. You know what I mean?
Do we even know if his significant other watches the pod?
That's a question too that I'll ask next week because I definitely want to revisit it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you trying to get your lick back? No, I gotta go through some shit.
I won't even say so much of a lick, but I'm definitely curious as to why there's a lack of.
Yeah. So you know I mean, what I catch flack on is funny. I catch flack of like my sports opinion because that's who I am, right? So people will watch it, comment, but they hit me on the side. Like, yo, you was wilding that, or why you ain't say this, or like that's what I get when it comes to the street shit or the relationship shit. I don't really get questioned because there's nobody to question.
I got you all the way.
You know what I'm saying? There's nobody to question me, and anything I did in the past was within, and it's already over. So there's nothing else to really be questioned about.
Yeah, because I felt bad that she was like, I didn't even promote that episode. Like, she was like that upset, and I'm like, you were that upset that you didn't even promote that episode?
It's too fresh.
Yeah,
your relationship is too fresh. Yeah, and she still has to be.
Had nothing to do with you. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was kind of, I didn't know if I was being insensitive or, you know what I'm saying? I didn't know how to look at it. I'm like.
But we had this conversation off camera, about a month ago about the communication part. Mm-hmm. Right? It's effective communication. She's communicating to you that some of this stuff that's going on in your past could still be relevant right now because of who you are. Because of your connection, because of how well known you are, because of how you still reach back to those areas, not to do those type of things, but like with your school drive coming up, right? With your book bag. And by the way, check the page, check his IG page, free book bag giveaway coming up. All the information on the IG, on Soup's IG page. But you still have some type of connection with the people that you should do dirt with. Because now you're living in a positive way, so you're reaching back to the community that raised you. Mm-hmm. So those people are still there, though. So she still has to keep her eye out for that.
Yeah.
You know, we done broke up. We moved 600 miles away. So, like, all that shit was washed up.
I got you all the way.
You know what I'm saying?
And I just think moving forward, I got to be more mindful.
Of her feelings.
Yeah.
Of her feelings. Because, again, you're still her husband, and you're still, no homo, pause. You're still that guy.
Yeah, and you know something else too? I kind of feel like I'm totally secure in my
Sometimes you're too secure.
Yeah.
Right? You're too secure because you know inside your heart and your mind that you ain't doing nothing. But you allow these, because you are a friendly person, you allow some of these other people that used to be in your life in the wrong way to be too friendly still. Like there's no boundaries with you. Because you live that life, you don't care about that stuff no more. But your wife still has to pay attention to it. Because females are crazy. Because she knows what type of man that she has. And a lot of people that you deal with didn't care at the time before that you had a significant other. They still did what they wanted to do with you anyway.
Yeah, and I can hold you guys for the most part. I kind of feel like if you turned over a whole new leaf, I think that it makes you stupid sometimes.
What you mean?
Because I feel like I'm naive to certain things that make her mad. So I kind of feel like it was like that whole time when she bring it up to me, I'm looking at like, are you serious? Like, you know what I'm saying? I really had to have a meeting with myself, like.
But because you have to remember, she didn't go through the changes that you went through.
Yeah, it made me naive.
Yeah, well, no, you're not naive. You're just looking at things from a different perspective. Because you say to yourself, I know what I could be doing. I don't want to do that no more. So why are we even having this discussion?
That's how I
because
felt.
I'm not that person no more.
That's really how I felt.
But she has to take all that into account.
Because
a lot of times it ain't you. Like, females ain't checking for their man. They checking for the females that don't care that she has a man.
And another thing too, it kind of was on the look. I kind of took it like an attack, like you didn't trust me, but it wasn't that. It just was like, she
don't trust the females.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the dirt that you did in the past, you were also in a relationship or a marriage at that time as well.
And she was like, it almost came off like you was bragging. I'm like, I wasn't bragging. I was like, we were just talking, but I was like,
barbershop talk.
Yeah, I said I was just talking candidly with my homies or whatever. I said, could I have not answered the questions? I'm like, yeah, but I kind of felt like I didn't care about answering. It was my past. You know what I'm saying? And I said, and I told her at the end, I said, when we got done talking, I said everything that I did was dumb. Like I never encouraged nobody to do that. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you didn't promote the infidelity, or you didn't promote the bad choices that you made. You just were speaking out there that you made bad choices, as we all have. Except for H, we don't know what H did.
Yeah, we'll never know. Yeah, we'll never know. Yeah, Harry. Yeah, Harry. We'll never know Harry.
Shit, you ain't calling Harry though.
Yeah, we'll never know Harry.
We'll never know Harry. So with that being said, we're gonna wrap this up without our boy H. Once again, we loved all the support you guys are giving us. Like, comment, share, subscribe. YouTube Superstars of Sports. Please, y'all, show the love. Share it. Again, it only takes 3 seconds, 5 seconds to hit that share button. We know you're watching because when we don't post the episode, when we take weeks off, y'all be hitting us up, one of those where we at. So that same energy that y'all giving us when we're not posting, please take that same energy and share it. Let everybody else know that you enjoy the podcast, you enjoy what we're talking about, and you know what's happening. Football season is coming. We're going to ramp this thing up. We're going to get the bets popping again, give you your FanDuel selections, talking football, talking training camp, talking shit about life that goes on in the streets. The only podcast in the area doing what we do. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Like H always says, it costs nothing to show love.
And if y'all know any kids in need, August 6th at Tabor Park at Loudon and Bingham Streets from 1 to 4, we'll be giving away book bags.
August 6th, Loudon and Bingham, Tabor Field, book bags, books, school utensils, school supplies. Come out, moon bounce, anything for the kids is what we doing.